Good morning, guys. I welcome everyone to Textiles Webmasters class. This is our first class, and this will be on web introduction into web design and web development. I use this medium to welcome our new members. You're highly welcome to the community, and we love and we wish to know each and every one of you better in the future. But for now, our primary focus is on learning process. Together, we'll dive into the world of web design, building the skills needed to create a functional website. So let's dive into the matter of the day, and I won't like to spend more than 15 minutes on this class. If you have any questions, opinions, or suggestions, feel free to message me on my DM. So I would like us to forward differentiate between a web designer and a web developer. So what we say, web design actually primarily focus on the visual aspect of a website. Web designer creates a layout, color schemes, typography, graphics, and all over artistics to make the site visually appealing and user friendly. Web designer could be classified as a UI designer and a UX designer, which is user interface and user experience. So when we say the word design, it's just like what creating what like an image or a visual representation of how a website will be. That's a plain explanation of web design. Moving to web development. Web development primarily focus on the technical and functional aspect of a website. Developers write code to build the structures, ensure functionalities, and enable interactive features on the website. So a web developer brings the design of the web designer, like what the web designer has already designed, to life, in the sense where users can actually interact with the website. That's what web development. So moving to keys elements in web design. So the keys element in web design, we have something like layout, which is what the arrangement of text, image, and other elements on the web page. We have color scheme, which is what the selection of color that that suits the website theme and branding. Typographic, the choice of fonts for readability and style. We have image and graphic, used for visual and enhance the user experience. Then we have user experience, which is what UX, which is what enabling that the website is easy to navigate and provide a positive interaction for visitors. And last but not the list is the list, which is very important, is what responsive design, making the website attainable to various screen sizes for mobile, desktop, tablets, and any other device. So let's move to the key elements in web development. The key elements in web development, we have something called HTML. Stands for what? Hypertext Markup Language. HTML is the structure and content of a web page. What did I mean in the structure and content of a web page? It is actually the basic. It's actually basically just a text file with code that tells the browser how to display informations. For example, you can let the browser know that a certain string of text should be displayed as an header with a bold font, or that the text should be centralized on the page. So to let the browser know that this text file contains HTML, we use the file extension .html rather than our normal .jpeg, .png for images. .html is telling the browser that this is a browser file, an HTML file. We work with .html. As we go further, we'll frequently use .html we'll frequently use terms like HTML in our classes. So let's move to the second key element in web development. So I'll say we have CSS, which called cascading style sheets. CSS, CSS is what cascading style sheet. We hear the word style, just like the style and the styling and the format HTML elements for visual words representation. So CSS is just like adding more light to our HTML. Let me give an example of what HTML and CSS means. So we are all common with houses which are built in our various environment and community. When building an house, they use bricks and concrete to build an house. Quite alright, you can actually live in the house like that, but it will not be at your comfortability, because the house is not yet tiled, it's not yet painted, you don't have chairs in it, but you can live in it. And that's what we refer to as Web 1.0. Web 1.0 was the first version of what web design, which was just plainly what text, links, and few images. That was what Web 1.0. So now let's move into what adding CSS. So as I was saying, our houses which they build with just bricks and cement, quite alright, you can actually live in it, but you will not be comfortable without doors, without windows, without your appliances and the likes. But you adding tiles, painting the house, adding chairs, adding fan, adding lights to the house, we are making the house more comfortable to live in. That's what CSS, and we refer that as to what Web 2.0. So if that is it, let's move to another key element in web development. We also have something like JavaScript. JavaScript is just like the interactive and functionality of the page. What do I mean by interactive and functionality of the page? Like this example of our houses which I'm using now. Quite alright, we could actually add a fan into the house with just CSS, but the fan will not have a regulator to either increase the speed or decrease the speed of it. The fan will be the fan or the AC will be going. So bringing JavaScript into the building, just adding like a regulator to on and off it, just like our switch to our bulb. Adding a switch to it is just like bringing HTML to the website. For now, we'll all be covering HTML and JavaScript before we split into various aspects, either front end or back end designer. So if that is it, I'll talk about what is front end and what is back end designer. So another key element is content system, which is known as CMS, which is platform like WordPress and the likes in web creation and management. We also be teaching having a lecture on how to use WordPress and the likes, but we'll not go deep into WordPress. We'll actually go deep into creating a website from scratch. So let's come back to web design. Let's talk about the process which involved in web design. So in web design, we have what we call planning, which is identifying the website purpose, target audience, and goal of the website. Another process is wireframe, which is creating a basic outline of web page. We have prototyping, which is developing interactive and non-functional version of web page. Another key process is visual design, which is adding colors, type, graphics, and image to the website. And last but not least is testing, checking the design for usability and user friendliness. So the process involved in web development now. So we have front-end development. So this is just creating a visual element of the website that users see and interact with, while backend is another process we refer to building the server-side logistic database and managing data on the website. And last but not the least, on the process in web development, we have what remains kind of complicated. On front end we have the process under front end, but we will not go deep into that. We just straight like this is just like a brief introduction into what web design and web development. So last but not least, we have testing, which is what ensuring the functionality and correct, or let's say correctly and free of bugs on the website. Bugs are just like errors which occurs on the website. That's for JavaScript. So if that is said, I also like to include developing, that's what publishing the website on the web server for public access, and maintenance with regular updates, security patch, and content management on the website. So if that's said, I would like to talk about the tools which we use in web design and web development. First, I'll start with web design. Web design involves designers using tools like Adobe XD, Sketch, Figma to create a website that looks and feels good. So they often work on aspects such as user interface and user experience, as I've said earlier. So web development involves developers using programming language like HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and various frameworks to bring the design to life. They handle the back-end and front-end development of the website. And a common tool which we'll be using for our learning on this on our class is what VS Code. Later in the day, I will send either a link or how we could get the apps on our PC or on our phones, because according to the poll, majority of us are using our Android, while few of us are using our computer. Just for the reference of learning, we can actually use our phone, but your comfortability, it will be more easy to use your system, to get a system for learning purpose. So let's go to the output. So on web design, we have markup, wireframe, prototyping. These server are visual blueprint for the website appearance. Why web development is produce that functional website itself, including web page, database, server configuration, and application logistic. So I don't know if I'm trying to beat up with the time. So if that is it, I would like to conclude or just round it up by if you have any question on any of these aspects, later I will drop a summary of everything we actually said in today's class on the website. For those who did not actually get what I'm saying clearly enough, I'll drop it in a PDF format, so later in the day you can actually read through. And as we go on, I'll be dropping some tools and some links which we could use for better learning and the likes. Thanks for being part of the web development. Have a nice day.